Not missing much. It's going to be a blank end, anyways.
Oh, Okay. Jerry's saying we're good. I'm going to go in, do a double check, and then we'll run ads, and then we'll hop in.
Perfect. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the RBC Dominion's Western Showdown. I'm Sam Steep, joined with Rory McCusker. Sorry for the technical issues in the first end, but we have that sorted out for the most part here as we are seeing Team Epping versus Team QE.
Yeah, we're rolling 4 sheets this morning, all with production. It's kind of a first for us, and yeah, it just took us an extra end to get things figured out on our side, but should be a fun one. We got camera movement. I'm on the cameras and switchboard and commentating. Good thing I got you with me, Sam, because if I was doing all that and commentary by myself, I feel like that'd be a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and I just get to look at a screen and talk about curling, so my life isn't quite as hard, but here we are. Yeah, both teams took different routes to get to the playoffs as Kevin Cooey qualified through the C side last night over Daniel Casper, and John Epping qualified through the B side, winning over Brad Gusho in a dominant fashion. They had a very close game in the A qualifier final as well versus Mike McEwen. John Epping's team certainly on an uptick this year, winning a couple of events and rocketing from around 30th in the world to 11th. And Cooey kind of doing the opposite this year so far with the new lineup change, slowly working their way down the points order. looking to change that this weekend. As we have some rocks in play here in the second.
Yeah, John Epping, we used to see a heck of a lot more of him. He definitely has taken a bit more of a backseat in recent years, not playing quite as much. But this kind of new look Epping team is pretty exciting to watch. And here he is once again playing on what would be Championship Sunday. This time it's Championship Monday in Swift Current.
Yeah, seeing that more and more often at these, you could call them Tier 1 events, but they're just not on Grand Slam ice. They take 3 to 4 days. The men's started on the Friday, so they finish on the Monday, where the women's finished up yesterday, but they started on the Thursday. Shout out to Alexander Schwaller's team, who ended up winning the women's side, stealing in an extra last night. As Tanner almost makes the hit and roll behind the two center guards. Now, Rory, I don't know if you have Instagram, but Tyler Tardy posting his short little reels. They're quite funny. Showing
really?
how much he practices. Yeah, he posts a bunch of different shots, and he's quite funny with it. It was fun to watch.
Always appreciate that. You know what else I appreciate as a fellow kind of like messy hair guy? This bedhead he's got rocking this morning is pretty epic.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of them rolled out of bed this morning, especially since they were in the C final last night. Makes the run back, but leaves it wide open. Yep, Tanner Horgan was rocking bedhead yesterday, so we could be on bedhead watch all day
love
long.
It. Yeah, a little rooster tail I'm seeing.
Yeah,
Mr. Horgan. Again, not ripping on him. This is pure appreciation. This is
pure
respect.
appreciation of respect of the bedhead.
Yep.
As he's looking to hit and roll behind the center guards that are staggered. Needs it to sit, and it will in time. It'll be interesting to see how much straighter the ice is. We noticed the last, at least yesterday compared to the Friday, was noticeably a little bit straighter. Still tons of finish and still awesome conditions for these curlers, but the skips were putting the brooms in the wrong spots early yesterday.
Yeah, I definitely saw in the women's side a lot of struggle with draw weight and line.
Yeah, I got to commentate the Gushu versus Mooibrook game last night, and I've never before seen Brad Gushu miss so many draws, and he won 8-4. It was very interesting. Their team having an interesting day yesterday, obviously getting, in other words, outplayed by Team Epping in the B final. And then they were up 4 in the C final and gave up 4 straight points to tie the game after 4 ends, and then took their 4-point lead right back. It was very, very interesting game. Not a typical Brad Gushu game, if you ask me, but they got it done, and they're in the playoffs.
Looks like I had my rocks wrong in the scoreboard. It is the third's first stone. For me, I'm not as familiar with what's kind of looking more like a Northern Ontario kind of squad.
It is a Northern Ontario team. which is funny because 3 of them live in Toronto. um, but obviously the Horgan brothers have birthright, and so does Ian McMillan. So John gets to be the import and fly up there for Northern Ontario provincials in the new year. It'll be his first Northern Ontario provincial, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's fine. These guys, I'm sure, would all identify from that area. I can forgive people for living in Toronto for a few years.
Yeah. Sometimes work just takes you to the biggest city in Canada, and that's just the way it goes. But I mean, John living in Toronto, probably, I think, his whole life. But big opportunity for Team Epping. Jake can put this draw in the top forefoot. They're going to be buried behind staggered center guards. Worst place this could be is behind T-line.
Yeah, QE getting kind of unlucky with the way those yellow rocks up front are overlapped. They're really tight to the rings. They'd be a great run back opportunity, but just overlapping each other. So not as juicy.
Team QE
Maybe
deciding...
they could get that. Maybe they could get that side one going straight backwards.
Yeah, it's just that's a really tight. With the perfect weight, you can probably hit 3/4 of that yellow, which would be perfect to go to the button with tap weight. Team Epping deciding not to put that. Yeah, Team Epping deciding not to put that in the red one in the top 4 because it would be an easy slash for Team QE.
I think you got to play that outside yellow, if nothing else, to unlock the rest of them. Like, it's just in your way, and this is kind of the last chance they have to rearrange this before Kevin's shots.
Yep, 3/4 of that yellow should angle onto the red in the top 8 foot. So Aaron Sluchinski settles in. Now, I'm not sure if you know this. Has Aaron been vice the whole time he's joined the team, or is this a new
Yes. Yeah, since he joined, that's been his position. Tyler stepped down to second. Really nicely made.
Yeah, well done.
Rolls both yellows, so they still have the intern side totally protected, and now 2 avenues of run back available. It's a really, really nice flip from Sluchinski.
Yeah, pretty scary for Team Epping.
Yeah, and you know, they are shot 1 right now. That's their kind of saving grace, and they're in the hack right now. So, you know, not in total danger yet, but definitely need to make this next one. I was going to say, Team Sluchinski beat Team QE 3 times in the Alberta Provincials last year on their way to a Boston Pizza Cup championship.
Yeah, they were certainly the better team last year.
Yeah. And of course, it's just curling. There's you know, I'm sure there's no bad blood between Sluchinski's old team, but I'm interested to see where those guys are at. I think they had a really good thing going. Jeremy Hardy was a really exciting player. Kerr Drummond had a great event. So wondering where those guys will end up and if they'll be back on the tour circuit.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly have a pretty great shot from Jake Horgan. They certainly have a lot of experience and a decent amount of points that they could bring to another team. As Jake makes the pinball into the rings and eliminates 3 yellows. Not endangered. Now Team Epping not in danger at all. And there's no double on the Reds.
Just want to welcome our 382 viewers we have right now in this game. Almost 2,000 watching the Gushu game.
Yeah, that Gushu team brings a lot of fans wherever they go. I think Team Epping and Team QE fans will be back as soon as they realize the audio is back.
Just checking the chat. Thanks for letting us know about the audio issues, and we really appreciate when people give feedback. It helps us perform the fixes. We do have a lot going on here at Curling Stadium, as you could imagine. Not a lot of people working a lot of hard jobs. So thanks for chiming in on the chat and letting us know what's going on. You guys are a full participant in this Curling Stadium project. It's because of the fans and the viewers like you that we're able to continue doing this stuff. So thanks so much for tuning in and participating.
Yeah, I certainly love the new 24/7 channel on Curling Zone. As a curling nerd, and I like to rewatch games and learn from the best. And some of the best teams in the world are on that channel getting rewatched 24/7. So if you are like me, please like and subscribe and watch that channel when you're bored and you can't sleep in the middle of the night. That's what I do.
Yeah, that does help us out because it shows YouTube that there's more kind of live viewers. People do have an appetite for that kind of thing, is what it shows YouTube, and it allows us to kind of advertise a little better as well. That in turn increases our ability to upgrade cameras, add microphones, increase production. Yeah. So yeah, that 24/7 channel, that was a bit of an experiment. We didn't know it would be so popular, but it really is. So
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. That was James Gordon, one of my coworkers at Curling Stadium. That was his idea.
Yeah, it was a great idea. I mean, there's a lot of people that just love curling and to have a 24/7 channel. I never thought I'd see the day, but there's been enough games live streamed to have it. I'm sure it's a pretty long loop. Decision time for Team Cooey. No easy way to get to shot stone. You could play the hack board waiter, but if you ever crash on the yellow in the top 8 foot, you're most likely giving up 3.
Yeah. It's not a good situation. Once Aaron made his run back, I kind of got tempted into thinking it looked really good for Team Cooey, just because I saw so many yellows in a straight line. But once Epping was able to respond, clear the danger, and have 2 red rocks in the rings, now it's not looking as good.
Yeah, Jake made a great shot. Those pinball shots sometimes are very difficult to know which way the rock is going to go through the hole after it wicks off of 2 yellows, and the fact that he eliminated 3 stones. There's no red double. Kevin talking about the different shot. Looks like they're going to run back that yellow and sit 2. Is my guess.
I think the scary part about this shot, Sam, is that you have to get so close to that top red in order to make this correctly. Hitting this and losing one of your yellows is not a very good option. It's gonna lead to 2 reds in the rings kind of separated. So kind of a must make here for Kevin Cooey.
Yeah, big shot. Looks like it's close.
Really nice line and well managed.
Yeah, sometimes when teams talk so much about a shot, like Team Kevin Cooey just did, you've talked so much about it, you're not dialed in to throw it after you took a minute and a half or 2 minutes to figure it out. So Kevin making that look pretty easy.
Yeah, it's a good point. I as a competitive curler myself, I definitely find if you talk for more than a few minutes, especially when it's not the last rock, like it's just somewhere in the middle of the end, I'm not going to say it greatly decreases your chance of making it, but I just don't think it increases them. But
No.
the best players in the world might be a little different. And what I was going to say about Horgan's shot previously, the difference there in my mind is line calling. That's one of the most underappreciated elite skills that these teams have that kind of separate them from the rest. Is the third and skip in the house. They're so accurate with calling the sweep to ensure that they get the exact result on those pinball shots, like you were saying.
Yeah. An opportunity here for John. Make the double. You could make the double crossing the face and roll all the way to the other side of the rings. Or just make it on the nose. Looks like they're trying to cross the face.
Oh, that's magnificent. Perfect weight control.
Pretty much perfect because that double jams on the yellow on the side too. Yeah. Well, if you're looking at triples, if you're learning how to throw, if you're a junior or young men's women's team, you look for right angle triangles, and that is almost a perfect right angle triangle.
Yeah, you gotta think it's still worth it to take it on though. Like, I mean, yes, it might jam. I don't think it's straight jam, Sam. And
Yeah.
that yellow is so close to the edge of the rings. If you send it over top or underneath just even a little bit, it's gonna roll out. Might be worth taking on anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the only other option is freeze, and if you bounce off, you give up 3. And how much weight Kevin can throw, it's pretty tough to straight jam a stone.
It's kind of a preference thing. I do know a lot of teams that would freeze in this scenario.
Yeah.
Like drawing to that one on the tee line is actually like it's a pretty forgiving shot because of the guard. All you'd have to do is put it, anywhere in the 8 foot. You could even tap the red a little bit. It would leave a run back for 2 or 3, but the freeze is definitely an option. But you can see Kevin, just his playing style and what he's comfortable with. He's not even looking at it. This is a
No.
double all day for Kevin Cooey.
Yeah, I mean, the main point of this double is to eliminate at least 1 stone. I mean, obviously, you don't love giving free 2 points, but it's better than giving up 3. And as expected, Kevin's throwing his out turn. Does
Ever
roll a
so
little
slightly
lower.
thinner than half, I think. Here, we'll do the
Yeah.
overhead one more time.
Yeah, if you look at the overhead, it's about just under half a rock. We'll make at least 1 disappear, if not both of them. There is no time clocks at this event. They can take as long as they want, though in the playoff Sunday, that just hurts themselves. Trying to make this curl. Just eliminates the red.
Kind of lucky that they punched it over top with how thin they were hitting that. Definitely some potential for jammage on that one.
Yeah, that rock stayed quite straight, and now Team Epping a draw to the full 12 foot for their 2 points here in the second.
Yeah, you were checking the chat there, Sam, and asking about the clocks. Yeah, you'll be hard pressed to find an event outside of the Grand Slams that has clocks. It just takes way too many volunteers to pull off.
Yeah, I mean, other than provincial playdowns, and that's really when you get all of the volunteers to come out and do it. It's really the only time. Sweepers were down right out of his hand, but they don't look too panicked as they just need full 12 foot for their 2 points. And no mistake from John. Team Epping takes a 2-0 lead over Team Cooey. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice bat has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the victory.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Welcome, everybody, back to the RBC Dominion's Western Showdown. I'm Sam Steep, joined with Rory McCusker. Here we have Team Epping up 2-0 after 2 ends. Team Cooey does have hammer.
Sam, this is becoming my favorite shot of the end, every end, the 5th shot of the end. It's a very interesting one because of the 5 rock free guard zone. When a team with hammer throws a corner guard and draws around their own corner guard, it's very interesting to see what the team without hammer will do with that 5th stone that they can't peel with. They'll often throw an inside-out kind of hack weight hit chase shot, which is what we just saw right there. Made it wonderfully, rolled it right to the center line. But sometimes they just don't really know what to do with that stone, Sam.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning point. Even I've learned this weekend what different teams have done with that shot. This is my 4th game commentating over Team Epping, or 3rd at least, and they tend to go with the back line to hack weight hit around the corner guard, and Tanner tends to make it almost every time, and it makes it look easy. So definitely a shot that they practice, and it's just interesting what other teams do with that rock. A lot of them throw center guards. That's what I always used to do anyways.
Yep, I've been throwing second rocks this year on my competitive team, and the practice regimen for second rock stones is pretty consistently, center line run backs, moving multiple stones, throwing hard ones down the middle, making sure you get rid of guards. Obviously, your come arounds, your freeze taps, and then that chase shot, that inside out hit and roll or hack weight chase shot. It's definitely part of the practice regimen at this point because you're throwing it so often.
Yeah, when you're playing on great ice conditions like here in Swift Current, and it curls nicely inside out like it does, that chase shot is super important to be able to make every time. It just takes the momentum right out of Team Cooey early in the end. Kark Martin sweeping this rock, trying to make the double, it looks like, and it's going to over curl. See if they can get at least the hit and roll. Pretty good plan B.
I feel like that's almost better. It's maybe not, but it rolled it so perfectly behind the guard. It's as if they tried to do that. But as we saw the call, they did not.
No. Very good tolerance is what I would call those shots.
Quite a bit of luck as well, as you said. So one of my problems aiming the camera here is keeping track of which throwers clean the rock and then stand back up and which ones don't. Who's going to jump out of my frame?
Yeah, well, if you ever commentate over one of my games, it's I stand back up.
Okay, good to know.
Chance to make the run back. If not, just peel and get John or Jake to make a double later on in the end.
You know what I find really fun is so I've worked my way to the point where broadcasting curling is a lot of my career. I work for Sportsnet, Grand Slam of Curling as well. And when I talk to the camera guys at Sportsnet, especially the ones that have been doing it for years and years, some of them have been there for, decades. They know all the players and their tendencies so well. They know who's not only going to stand up and such, but who kind of has the more interesting face as they follow each rock, and the sweeping style, how much kind of movement they're going to have in their sweeping style. They just keep track of these players so expertly, so they know exactly how to shoot them with their cameras in the perfect way. It's really, really impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I guess if curling teams are looking for any secrets, they should be contacting the camera crew of Sportsnet or Grand Slam team. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to do anything, but that's funny. That's the more you know.
Yeah, random little tidbit.
I like it.
Extra information.
Chance for Jake. I'm not sure if they're playing the hit and roll on top of the yellow or playing the slash double. The broom could be for both. We'll see how much he kicks out with.
I think the hit and roll is more valuable. Yeah, it seems like hit and roll weight, doesn't it? No, they're sweeping it for the high side, Sam.
Yeah, they are. Looks pretty close.
Ooh. Blows by. And just kind of game within the game type stuff. That's going to give Team Kui an opportunity to either even out those stones and leave less of a double. Yeah. Kind of place their next stone where they want it to be.
Yeah, it's pretty much no pressure. If you leave a double and John Epping makes it, you're not that upset about it because you get to go to the fourth end with hammer. I know you're down 2, but even ends, people, I think about even ends before the game even starts. I know most skips do. Obviously, they'll take their free deuce if Team Epping doesn't make a double.
Yeah, the good news for Team Kui is there's no real danger. There's no center guard, no attacking stones for Epping in this third end. It's Kui's end to do with it as he pleases.
It looks like they're going high, realizing it's not going to make it to the back 8 foot. Gives John that same slash if he wants to take it on. And I assume he's going to.
Oh, I'm 1 rock behind. Sorry, people. It is Epping's first.
You're not doing enough, Rory.
Exactly. I kind of like it, getting completely absorbed into it.
Yeah, I mean, I love curling. It's the reason why I'm commentating it at 10 a.m. on a Monday. And Kieran.
Yeah, where are you operating out of right now, Sam?
Yeah, Southern Ontario. Yeah, in Stratford, Ontario.
I just love how all over the world our crew is. We have commentators living in New Zealand doing
Hans.
Games.
Yeah. I got to commentate with him yesterday. It's very fun. This looks close and well made by John.
Yeah, beautiful call and make. That's kind of on the same wing that they had just thrown down. So
yeah, I got to play against John the last few years as he's been away from the limelight. He's been in our tier 2 and tier 3 events in Ontario more the last couple of years. And that shots like that, he's just was a little bit off taking a break. But this team, they just is giving him some kind of new confidence. It's kind of like getting a new puppy.
That's great.
I'm sure he'll love that.
The made double that we just saw, it's also indicative of good ice conditions, because to make and call the sweep on such a long double, that means that there's no jump in the ice. The runs aren't sort of pulling the rock towards the wall or anything that you might deal with at an average curling club. So when you see shots like that made over and over again, you know that the ice conditions are allowing the players to operate with such confidence.
It's got to be one of the main reasons why all these top teams come here to Swift Current. This event was big last year as well. I'm not sure about the year before, but I'm sure it was. And it's basically a Grand Slam with some young up-and-coming teams mixed involved. It's my favorite kind of event. You get to see the Mooiebrooks and the Clyders, and even you can call Epping an up-and-coming team, but play against the best in the world on the men's side, and same with the women's side. Team Inglot making the final. I don't think a lot of people would have picked that at the beginning of the event and or had a shot to win.
Yeah. I mean, they lost that final by a quarter inch.
Yeah. As John makes this yellow disappear, Kevin will have a blank attempt.
No, I just wanted to give a shout out to that team. I know them all personally. They play out of Regina, where I'm based. A lot of hard work over the last however many years. And paid off with a final berth against Xenia Schwaller, who's, points-wise, I think she's in the top 10.
She is. They're a Grand Slam team now. They worked their way up last year, winning a decent amount of events. And this will propel them even farther up the order. Right now they're in the 11th, but what do they get? 40 or 50 points for winning this event. So they're exactly 40 points behind Momaha Tabata, who is 10th. So they're only going to move up one. But as Kevin Cooey makes his blank attempt, Team Cooey will keep the hammer going to the fourth, Epping up 2-0 when we come back.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RBC Dominion's Western Showdown. I'm Sam Steep, joined with Rory and McCusker. Team Epping has a 2-0 lead over Team Cooey. Team Cooey does have hammer in this fourth end. Update you on our other sheets.
Matt Dunstone's up 2-1 with hammer after 2 ends. Ryland Kleider and Brad Jacobs are knotted up at 2 apiece. And Mike McEwen down 2-1. Brent Pierce is up 2-1 with hammer in the 4th. As both Epping Rocks slide behind T-line. Not the best start for Ian McMillan.
Yeah, Sweeper's kind of just walking beside that rock. Knew it was heavy the whole way.
Yeah, and
with no threatening. Yeah, with no threatening stones in the front of the rings, Cooey's going to feel pretty safe throwing a second corner guard, knowing he's not going to be behind the 8 ball. Sometimes you see 2 good opponent stones in the top of the rings, and you go, I probably shouldn't throw that second corner. I should address this while I have a chance. But with this setup, 2 non-threatening stones, he's going to do whatever he wants to create offense. Cooey is no stranger to putting points on the board and making things happen. Looks like that's what we're going to see this end.
Yeah, Sweepers hoping this rock stops, and it does for Team Cooey.
What an expression from Kirk. That's great.
Yeah.
Kind of looks up in a big sigh of relief that didn't go in the rings.
Yeah, sometimes you're just not having your day, and that slides in the rings, and the advantage that Cooey has just goes away early in the game, in the end. But I like with Team Cooey throwing double corners, just like same with most top level teams. Their run back ability is so good now that you're almost. It feels like you're never in trouble, especially when you're dialed in. Opportunity for Tanner to choke off this corner guard. They only wanted it about half buried.
Still a fine spot. It definitely came deeper than I think they expected. This 4th end getting real quick. It's fairly common on a curling sheet to have your quickest ends in sort of the 3rd and 4th like this, and we've seen that in Swift Current so far.
Yeah, and most obviously because they're the best teams in the world, they have that heads up. They kind of know that it's going to be half a second to a second faster at this point in most paths. And for Team Epping, yeah, that's sliding about 2 feet deep. If it stops in the 12-foot half buried, that corner guard all of a sudden is basically not usable. Chance for Team Cooey. You don't want to bounce on this freeze attempt. Pretty much perfect.
Just another kind of camera operator perspective thing from curling. It's kind of unfortunate. Some of the very best shots you get from a player, like the best facial expressions you get, are as the rock is kind of coming to a rest.
Yeah.
And, a lot of broadcasts, like, it's tough. You can't show both at the same time. Like, you can't show the shot with the overhead and the player's reaction at the same time. So what I try to do is mix in this kind of split shot we're seeing right here where you get the player and the rock. We're going to try to do that here.
Yeah, I think the fans at home would appreciate that. I know as a curler, I've seen a lot of interesting facial reactions to shots from my teammates and from opposing players as Tanner's trying to make this run back. It's going to go over top of the face. Still, in my opinion, still advantage Team Cooey. Have a corner guard. They have a yellow in play. Team Epping will have to eliminate at least one red stone if they try to eliminate that yellow in the top 8 foot.
Yeah, if Team Cooey feeling fairly free to ignore that red stone on the button, continue to build their own setup. They'll deal with that red stone later. And, at back button like that, it's not really worth guarding, especially up 2 points for Team Epping. You can pretty safely assume that Epping's going to chase you wherever you go. So Team Cooey dictating the initiative here in the 4th.
Yeah, it's just, everyone calls the 6th end the all-important 6th end. I think the 4th end is just as important, just as hard. Needs to score here. You would hate to blank, and you would hate to give up a steal, obviously.
The way I think about it, Sam, is the sixth is so important, and the sixth is set up by the fourth, and the fourth is set up by the second, and like you know, you got to you got to get there, right? So, so treating the even ends kind of with an increasing and ever increasing importance. That seems to be the macro strategy standard. I remember that really wasn't talked about so much until Kevin Martin retired and started commentating. And he would really, I got huge respect for Kevin Martin. I always will for this, because when he retired, he wasted no time in kind of giving away his secrets, his thought process to skipping. And that was really appreciated. That helped a lot of skips like myself, and I'm sure many others, think about the game at a higher level. And yeah, it was always his, really, he preached that even end kind of thing. And now that's become the default macro strategy for all curling teams, men or women.
Yeah, that was a very much closed book. As Jake eliminates that yellow, it does tap the red back, but Team Epping's sitting 3 right now. That was a very closed book strategy, obviously, while he was playing. He kept that close to his chest, wouldn't share his secrets, just like any good athlete wouldn't either. But yeah, very much learned a lot from the Bear. I'm sure he's watching his son right now, enjoying retirement. Or barely retired. He's probably busier than he was when he was a competitive curler. Decision time. I think Kevin does need to eliminate. He would love to make a double. He's just trying to not leave a double.
Aaron Slushinsky, not the loudest guy, so Kui's kind of yelling down the ice. You can see Aaron's just kind of nodding, and you know, a lot of people don't know what Aaron Slushinsky's voice sounds like. And that's just a quieter guy, cool, confident.
Yeah, I mean, those two standing beside each other in the back, they probably don't say a single word until it's their time to throw.
They're communicating through telekinesis.
Yeah. Aaron's looking for the just off nose, going to get rid of one Kui stone.
Yeah. There's really only one way to make that shot, and that was across the high side of the back one. So
it was more important to keep the shooter. Yeah.
Oh, something interesting happening on the other sheet. Both Kevin and John were looking over.
Yeah, as a skip, I tend to watch other sheets as well. Even my teammates sometimes get upset about it when they're in the hack waiting for me to call a shot. But listen, we're not on clocks at these events. And I love curling.
I try to avoid the temptation, Sam. I try to pretend that the entire world is just the sheet that I'm on. You know, there's a big invisible wall that goes up on each board.
You're better than I. The chance for Jake to sit 3 again. This does need to roll in.
Pretty significant, that roll, Sam. They would have really liked to get third shot.
Yeah, I mean, now it's a nose double to sit 2, and one yellow absolutely buried behind a corner. Looking, because of that miss, it's going to look like Kui has a chance for 2, just like last end.
Yeah, it gets to throw down a similar path. Slushinsky does. A little more controlled weight as well. Should bring the sweepers into play. Wow, that really bit right away. I could see that one curl right out of his hand.
Yeah, does still make it. Wow, great sweeping. I didn't think that had a chance. By Karik.
And you can actually, here, let's see if I can, you can see McMillan noticed the same thing. So it was about 2 feet out of his hand, that rock really bit and started curling. It may have picked up something on the ice.
Yeah, luckily he threw it hard enough where it barely changed direction. If that was a hacker board waiter, you probably would have seen it curl about 3-4 feet. These two teams have played each other once in this event already. Kevin Cooey winning, or John Epping winning 9-8 in the opening game of this event. So a very high-scoring game, and it looks like we're on the way to do the same thing in this playoff round.
Oh, forgot to switch cameras. Sorry, folks.
That's okay.
Sometimes happens.
John Epping's delivery hasn't changed in 15 years, so just imagine it. And as he hits and rolls out, it was an opportunity to roll behind that red in the top 12 and maybe get a force, but unfortunately rolls out. This is the last big teams event of the calendar year. Obviously, we have the mixed doubles trials coming up during the Christmas break and between Christmas and New Year's. John Epping will be there with his teammate Lisa Weigel.
Next big, team event is going to be the Aztec Safety Challenge in Lloydminster, Alberta, Saskatchewan. That's another event with really committed organizers and really has become a staple of the curling season. They have top teams, and from what I hear, they treat the players like gold. It's the players' favorite event to play in. That will be streamed as well.
Yeah, when is that?
I think it's the second week of January.
Oh, that's fun. So that would be just before the Grand Slam in Guelph. So the weekend before the Grand Slam in Guelph, I think.
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm doing my math right, that'd be a lot of fun.
Or there's a full 1 week break. Yeah. Either way, you can check out the event list on Curling Zone and it'll be there.
Yeah, that's fun. Chance for Kevin to put this pretty much in the same spot it was. If you could put it full back 8 foot where a hit and roll won't be shot stone.
I thought they might have been tempted into drawing around the corner guard scenario, Sam. Maybe get a half tuck.
Yeah, you could bring 3 into play. I think maybe they're worried that if they don't fully bury, John will make a hit and roll, and then they're going to get forced. This shot basically secures 2 points.
I don't know. There's still some places to roll and hide. You could roll behind your own red.
Yeah, that's what John will try to do. I agree with you. I would have been tempted to draw either around the red or around the 2 corner guards. Obviously, around the yellow would have been perfect. About 3/4 buried.
Just that their shot stone in the 12 foot is so buried. There is no chase. There's no, even a hack weight shot's not going to get rid of it. So I feel like that may have given them a bit more freedom to pursue a possible 3, but no, they've played this whole end to get 2, and 2 is what they want. This is their safest way in their mind to get it. So
yeah,
fully understand that thought process.
Yeah, the scary part is you're giving John Epping the exact same shot twice. These skips at this level hardly ever miss 2 times in a row. Well, the sweeper's not touching this yet. Tanner on the brush, trying to keep it straight. It's going to overcurl.
Just a little late on the sweep, Sam.
Yep, they would have had a chance if they swept it right out of his hand, but sometimes, especially with good sweepers, if you sweep out of the hand, you bounce it back too far, and all of a sudden you're flashing and giving up 3. So played it a little safe, but open hit for 2 for Team Cooey to tie this game up after 4. No surprise, Kevin's playing his out turn. Last rock here in the 4th. Hit and stay in the 8 foot for 2 points for Kevin Cooey. And no mistake, Team Kui ties the game 2-2. Team Epping will have hammer when we come back.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the RBC Dominion's Western Showdown. I'm Sam Steve, joined with Rory McCusker. Team Kui ties it up 2-2 after 4 ends. Team Epping has hammer here in the 5th. As I mentioned last end, these teams played against each other in the first game of the event. Team Epping winning 9-8. A high-scoring game. So 2-2 after 4, definitely trending a little bit less points, but that's to be expected in the playoff game.
I was just going to say, that seems to be a trend in playoffs. Don't want to lose the game in one decision or one bad end, so understandable. Kark Martin being asked to throw a center guard. It was a definite decision for Kevin. He kind of hum-hawed over it for a little while, but ultimately decided in this 5th end they're going to go for the force. That means throwing a center guard and making sure that play can get centered around the middle in a place where they can choke off the scoring area.
Yeah, I mean, you worked pretty hard to blank the third just to score 2 and 4 and have even ends. You don't want to just draw around the top 4. Team Epping makes some sort of double and gets their blank and gets even ends after. Would be no good.
It's going to be an early opportunity for Team Epping to lie 2 undercover, however. And that center guard ensures that the original Epping Stone in the Rings is inaccessible. So giving a chance for Team Epping to put some early pressure on.
Yeah, certainly taking a little bit of risk throwing that center guard. But Ian over curling, it's going to take this yellow off the center line. And
I'm wondering if that was a miss or whether that picked something up, because the sweepers didn't seem that concerned.
I'm wondering if that did grab something, and Karik is cleaning a path right now.
Yeah.
So I think you're right, Rory. I think that did grab something because they weren't panicked, like you said. They weren't sweeping until about three quarters of the way down the sheet. So unfortunate for Ian McMillan, but now a chance for Team Cooey to put some pressure on Epping early in this end.
Choosing to go the wide way. Quite interesting. Would that be because they're trying to defend against a potential run back on the next shot?
I do think that's it. I think, and also you could be buried behind basically two center guards. There's a yellow and that red in the top 12. If you bury behind that, it makes a double run pretty difficult. Where if you just draw to the top 4 on the other side, that nose run back is pretty simple for players at this level, though this draw is much harder.
Trying to hold this straight. What a great sweep.
At the hog line, I didn't think that had a chance. So well done by Aaron Stachinski and Kirk Martin getting that by.
Yeah, no easy way at that one. So John's going to admit, not defeat, he's going to tip his cap, say nice shot, and bail.
Yeah, when you have Tanner Horgan throwing Peel in front of you, and you're one shot in trouble, you don't feel in trouble because he should be pretty close to this double Peel.
You can see the other games on the ice, left to right. The Marsh boys sweeping for Team McEwen. 1-2, the double is made. Also, Brad Gushu on the sheet next to us. So a star-studded lineup out here in Swift Current on Monday morning.
Yeah, it's a big event here for all these teams. Some teams Kevin Cooey trying to work their way back up into the Grand Slams. They've slid down to 26th in the world, I think, or 27th. So
Sam, the hood is off. Kevin Cooey's hood is off. Hood tracker. 1 hour and 14 minutes.
Yep, his head's finally warm. That's funny. But yeah, Kevin Cooey missing a Grand Slams for the first time in his career, I think. Definitely a new feeling for him. I'm sure they're going to do their best to make a deep run today and try to work their way back up. They're barely holding on to a Tier 2 spot right now. As some of you may not know, Tier 2 starts on the ranked 30th in the world and up is the cutoff.
Yeah, considering Cooey sort of no longer in the elite field of teams, it's been a weird thing for curling fans to understand. But something tells me, I just get a good feeling, and I cannot even explain this with proof, that this new lineup and just this season feels a little different. I think they look a little sharper. You're not seeing as many crooked numbers. They were giving up so many points without Hammer. It was just so odd the last few years to see those stat lines, those score lines. But with the shakeup and the addition of Slushinsky, I think they might be onto something.
Yeah, as for Tanner, that rock not curling quite enough for the double and is guarding the current shot stone. But yeah, I agree. I think sometimes a lineup change, especially in the middle of the season, like we've seen 4 or 5 teams do this year, sometimes takes longer to click than others. Brad Gushu currently ranked 3rd in the world, but their last 3 or 4 events with Brennan Botcher hasn't been the Gushu level style of curling that we're come used to. And it just takes a while to click. It took, if you look at, I used this example yesterday, but Team Holman, best team in the world by far, men's and women's, most dominant team. But their first year together, they barely made playoffs at the Scotties. So sometimes it takes a whole year to get used to a new lineup. And these teams have only about a year until the trials. And Team Cooey, the way their points are, they're going to have to go to the pre-trials.
Just the way curling is as a game. It's just, especially at these elite levels, the differences between winning and losing are just so finite. They're so small. And oftentimes, like, the skill is there. It's just a matter of reaching a level of consistency that's going to consistently produce wins. You know, you're
Yeah.
going to make huge shots here and there, but it's just the tiny little half makes and misses that end up being the difference. So
Yeah,
it takes a while to iron those out. I think we've
does.
seen that with Team Jacobs over this season, finally sort of coming into their own. Like when that team was formed on paper, that should be either the best or second or third best team in Canada and really the world. But it's taken them a little while to get there.
Yeah, Brad taking a year off. I mean, I know he was an elite skip before he took that year off, and he came back and spared a couple of events and then went down to Vice for Team Carruthers. But stepping back into that skip role, it does take a little bit of time. Like you said, it's consistency. To be the best teams in the world, you're consistently throwing 85, 90% to win games, all four players. So Brad maybe taking a little bit longer than he expected to adjust, but has had a last couple of events have been pretty successful for the Jacobs crew. Losing the final at the last Grand Slam.
As I was yapping there, we saw a pretty significant overcurl on the guard from Sluszynski. It's going to open up this tap.
Cody's back
Yellow
on.
is still shot rock. I don't know how good that is, Sam. I think
Yeah.
that an opportunity to lie two undercover now for Team
Yeah,
Cody.
I think they would have loved that to curl another half an inch. They got by the guard by 3/4 of an inch. To make that shot perfect, you needed to just get by the red in the top.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I'm not sure if that was totally there. Like,
No, I don't think it was, because that was pretty much perfect weight and didn't curl enough. So chance for Cooey to keep the pressure on Epping if they can make this hit and roll about half buried.
really nicely managed sweep.
Yeah, just like that. No choice for John but to going to have to draw the top 4 foot now, I think.
Might be showing just enough to get the over-the-top double. That's what he's signaling.
Yeah, I think if you hit what you can see, you can probably make that. It's just you lose your shooter, and Kevin will just draw around the current guards again. But it looks like that's what John wants. Does open up the scoring area, as it's certainly looking like a force right now.
Yeah, it's a big shot. You want to make this. You want to make sure these 2 yellow rocks go away and that you kind of reset the end.
Must be close. Sweeper's been off and on the whole time.
Too thick, Sam. Oh, they just get away with it.
Yep, when you can throw a 6-second peel like Jake Horgan, pretty hard to stuff it. Tried to, though.
Once again, I've miscounted rocks. That was the second of the third stones.
You'll figure it out one day. No, it's yeah, I mean, obviously a great shot from Jake Horgan, opening up that scoring area. That red, I don't think it's in, because I feel like Kevin probably would have hit it by now. So deciding whether he wants to blank or draw around the red in the top 8 foot. Looks like he's going for the blank, deciding not to take the risk, which is color me surprised.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room to draw around that red stone, and we haven't seen a ton of curl inside out. I doubt he could get more than half buried. But, I mean, your argument is why not try?
Yeah.
I guess unless you come deep, you're not really going to leave an opportunity for the opponent.
It feels not like, it doesn't feel like a lot of risk to try to be half buried. I feel like a lot of teams would have done so, and maybe that's what sweepers are trying to convince Kevin right now. But I think his worry is if he leaves it wide open, John has a pretty easy hit and roll behind, or if he leaves it back 8 foot, John has a pretty easy freeze. So maybe not wanting to take the risk is, I think, what Kevin's thinking about, but I'd certainly be tempted.
Could also be that macro strategy that we were talking about earlier, just wanting to make sure he has hammer in the even end.
Yeah, but drawing the back 8 foot is basically meaning you're blanking.
Nah, you're just giving up a blank, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what surprises me. You worked, you blanked the third, you took 2 and 4, you And now you're okay with a blank. It doesn't make much sense to me, but maybe some other experts might know more.
We did see that center guard. He kind of wrestled with the decision whether to throw it. So we saw the commitment to a force earlier in the end, and then now we're seeing him kind of back away from it. I think that might be part of our confusion, Sam.
Yeah, this could be maybe just even a little bit of lack of confidence on the QE side. They've had such a not so awesome year, and maybe not playing with the most amount of confidence that they normally do. Scoreboard does say to try a half bury around those corner guards, but John's going to say thank you very much. I'll hit this and take my blank.
Yeah, no sense in rolling deep behind the guards. Hey, all that'll do is give QE something to draw to.
Yep. Yep, try to roll to just bite the edge of the 8 foot would be perfect.
Okay, note to self, John Epping is not a stander upper.
No. He has that natural talent ability to step in a hack and automatically be lined up to the broom, so some of us don't have that. Well, this could have been Kevin's plan all along. Try to throw big weight and roll back 8 foot behind those 3 corner guards. Still a chance to force.
For how wide open this ended up, pretty slow playing time. The timer on this end's getting close to 20 minutes, and we really didn't see much action.
Yeah, there was a lot of thinking involved. That last shot took a decent amount of time. He stood in the hack for a while.
Yeah, Kui can get in this kind of like mesmer state where he's kind of got this 1,000-yard stare. He's obviously like just trying to stay focused and keep his priorities straight, but it ends up, it feels like he's kind of operating in slow motion sometimes.
Well, he's thrown all of these shots about 1,000,003 times, but it's a mental game sometimes. When you throw a rock as good as these top level athletes do, sometimes it is a mental war inside your head. As John looking for the blank attempt here, last rock here in the 5th. Just cleaning, and looks like he makes it successfully. So it will be a blank end. Team Epping keeps the hammer going into the 6th, and we're tied 2-2. We'll be right back.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Bat has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Swift Current Western Showdown, the RBC Dominion Western Showdown. I'm Sam Steve, joined with Rory McCusker. We are tied 2-2. John Epping has hammer here in the all-important sixth end. Team Kevin Cooey basically gifting John a blank end. In the fifth, chance for definitely advantage Team Epping having 2 hammers to 1. In a tie game, stats say you win a decent amount of the time.
My guess would be 64%. I'm going to go on curling zone and check.
There you go.
Anybody who's wondering where we get these numbers from, it's just the analytics tab on the Curling Zone website. Right when you go to Curling Zone's homepage, tab on the top, analytics, you select your season data set, click men's, women's, or doubles, and bam. Every tour game that's been tracked will show up for you there.
Yeah, it was pretty neat on a feature because last provincial in Ontario, there was a team that gave up 4 in the 10th and then lost in the extra. And I think it happened 0.009%. So it's only happened like once.
Yeah.
In all of the stats that Curling Zone keeps. So pretty fun thing to have at our hands.
Yep, and just confirming in the last 2 years, it's a 64.8% chance of winning the game, tied with hammer in the 6th.
Well, you're very studied, Rory. Good.
No, I just read that off the page. No. So a pretty nice draw around. Comes a little deep, but gets it nice and buried. It's a pretty good pair from Carrick Martin.
Yep. Carrick setting it up pretty good for Kevin. Starting to shrink that scoring area. They would have obviously liked that above the tee line. But Ian McMillan bouncing off a little bit. Definitely, even though Team Epping is shot stone, if Team Cooey can make this little tap and roll under, they're going to be sitting 2 buried.
No, that's the wrong way to miss. You're creating a pocket that Cooey is going to certainly take advantage of.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Obviously, they touched the rocks up a little bit because on Friday they were taking mid-12 for this draw to the button. So now they're only almost mid-8 foot. Big sweep just to get this by. Maybe I talked it into existence.
It really looked like not a ton of ice that Cooey was getting. I was really surprised by that.
That's why I mentioned it. Yeah, it looked very tight. Big missed opportunity for Team Cooey. Now, that red one, there is a hole. You could probably go through and hit it at this level. These guys make that shot probably a lot, but chance for Team Epping to draw the top 4 foot, top button, and sit 2.
Yeah, that was a big missed chance. If Tardy was able to put that stone right on the tee line, they'd be protecting that thing the whole end. That could have potentially been their steel rock.
Yeah, now they're going to be chasing a little bit if Tanner can make this. And this is curling a lot too. Just gets by both center guards, but it is heavy. And that explains the hesitation.
The line was so good that I think it's going to be all right. Cooey will obviously eventually hope to get one under, but I think that's a pretty good shot.
Very curious as to what the next shot is. In my opinion, you should be freezing. You can sit second shot, and really shrink that scoring area. Peeling, I think, just helps Team Epping.
Gotta make this. This rock needs to be in a useful spot, or Cooey's going to be in big, big trouble.
Yeah, a must make, and Tyler missing his first. I'm sure he'll be awfully close, even though this is a new path. They would have gotten a hog to hog from Tanner's. They would know pretty closely what this draw path is doing.
Yeah, it's curling a lot more than the out turn. Already really kind of exploding over.
Yeah, not a good miss. There wasn't much tolerance with that shot, but certainly light, I don't think, was it.
It's definitely not a great situation for Cooey, but for Epping, this isn't really attractive as well. You're looking at a kind of great wall of yellow in front of the rings. Quite a few rocks left to come. You can't be satisfied with how things are right now. You know, if Cooey ever just gets one on the top of the button, you're kind of screwed. So, you know, they might even be tempted into peeling or changing something up front. It's a weird one, Sam, because you're line 2, looking pretty good, but you also recognize the danger.
Yeah, the issue is the yellow center guards are helping you right now. Cooey can't really get to the button, but if they make one long run back or a perfect freeze, you're going to give up a steal. So you always have to figure out what your problem stone is, and it certainly is those center guards. The issue is, like we just said, if you peel them, you give Team Cooey a chance to draw into that pocket. I liked the split call, though it looks very difficult. If you could split that red in the top 12, take away the angle run.
I guess the risk is you tick off one of the guards and leave some more junk up front. I think my instinct would be an in-turn draw to the side of the 4-foot. Just get another one in a good controlling position. Let Cooey play whatever difficult shot that they're going to play. And, you know, you have 4 rocks remaining after this one's thrown to clean things up if things do go wrong.
Yeah, and that was John's original call. And normally skips at this level, or most skips, their first call and then is normally the correct one. Like their instincts are normally right. But sometimes you can get either outvoted by your team or overthink a shot and change it. So I think you're right. This is a good call. That split was very difficult to make perfect.
You see lots of ice being given. They definitely don't want to wreck the guard and kind of split it off and give Cooey that in-turn path again. So the miss here is outside. As long as you don't leave an inside roll, you're going to be all right.
Yeah, the line looks good. It's all weight at this point as they just get by. How about perfect?
That's right where Epping tapped his broom. Pretty darn good. Yeah, Cooey staring at this 4-foot, just hoping it somehow rearranges itself.
Yeah, I mean, now they need to make a run back. It's just which yellow do you want to run back? The one on the center line doesn't make much sense because it's blocked by the red in the top 12. So it's one of the side yellows need to be ran in. There is a hole where you could get to the shot stone. That would be perfect. That would be a great shot.
Do you think you'd ever get a little flop in if you throw like a normal weight hits down that out turn path? I don't think so.
No, I think the best you can do is nose. Maybe roll a centimeter to the inside, but you won't be shot.
And I bet you lose the back yellow as well.
Yeah, so I do think this is the call. over curls, you hit it on nose. You're not in the worst place, but if you can make it perfect, you could be shot stone on the button. There is a little hole there. Wide certainly doesn't help, though.
Looks really good. Oh, it just chisels the top one. It's still a pretty good result. Almost made it perfectly.
Yeah, they overcurled. They were curling it at the end. They actually needed to hold it straight. But is
Those
sitting second.
Soft weight run backs are so tough to call the line.
Yes, very much so. And does rearrange. Now there are more rocks behind the tee line, which normally helps if you're trying to steal. But if Team Epping can make this hit roll to the top button, they're almost secure 2 points unless Kevin can make some kind of angle run back.
Just catching up on some of the chat here. Interesting suggestion. Too many front end shots missed. The competitors should take commercial breaks. Little break between ends, you think might help the front ends, maybe?
Well, leads don't get enough love anytime because most streams and even on the Grand Slam, they need to run ads. It's how the companies make money, but the lead shots get missed. That's why I do like that we do show it on part of the screen during our commercials. Same with Grand Slams. They're doing that as well now, but leads throw the most important rock to set up the end. This needs to curl just a little bit. Oh, they overcurled it. Still a good shot.
Yeah, it's still in a really useful spot, but I think another few centimeters of roll would have been really nice. It's going to leave this double, perhaps even triple, Sam, if they can thread the needle here.
Yeah, you need to throw a bomb peel weight shot through the hole. It could circle around to get all three reds. You lose your shooter, and then that yellow in the back forefoot would be pretty lonely, but they would be shot if this is made perfect. Hole looks bigger on the overhead than it does in the hack.
It's easily the biggest ask of Aaron Sluchinski so far this game. This is a massive shot.
Yeah, no tolerance.
1, 2, 3. Rolls up and out, and it is yellow. Shot rock in the back of the forefoot. That's a big shot in a big moment from Aaron Sluchinski.
Yeah. As we see the replay here, you wick off one of these guards, you're most likely going to give up 3 or 4 this end. And the fact that he got rid of 2 and ended up being shot stone in the back forefoot really does change the optics of the end.
And there goes the 8-ender for Team Epping, which I think they had every rock in the rings up until that point.
Yeah, that would have been, not for Team Cooey fans, but that would have been fun to see. Now, how does Team Epping get to that yellow in the back? Do you throw a bullet through the hole and pick it out?
I think you throw the same weight, and even if you somehow chisel off of the side red, you're still going to get the yellow one.
It does look like that's what they're doing. They're trying to in off of their own red onto the yellow in the back forefoot.
You did see him discuss what turn they're going to throw. I think they're going to follow with an out turn. It'll be the same as Sluchinski's throw. Or is he lining up an in turn?
Wrong. Yeah. The port makes more sense to throw in. That out turn was very difficult. Aaron made it look easy. The in turn does make more sense optically. Though this rock is going to want to curl a little bit.
You don't want to get too much of your own.
This looks pretty perfect.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, if you hit your own a little bit thicker, that red spins all the way to the open side. It does roll a little bit farther than they probably wanted it to.
Yeah, do you think Kevin could ever get a corner freeze on this thing to nullify the 2 stones in the 12-foot, or the outside ones?
Yes, though this is a very difficult path, very wide draw. It's not the easiest freeze in the world. We're on the 6th end, so a hard shot needs to be made. The only other shot is the nose run double.
The good news for Team Kui and this shot is all weekend we've seen these outside pass. Sometimes, you say it's getting in the weeds or catches fresh pebble or it's an unused path. These outside draw pass have actually been pretty consistent. We've seen a lot of teams make shots like this, wide come arounds, and it's just a big credit to Jason Bratton's ice crew and how committed they've been all week long and how good the ice has been. Scary looking scenario, though, no doubt.
It is. Yeah, you're drawing against 3. If this crashes on the guard, Team Epping will draw to sit 4. It's basically a gamer. Kevin, obviously known for his high weight hitting ability. When Kevin Kui was at his peak and winning the Olympic trials, he was making these soft weight freezes and hack waiters. Trying to get back to that form. This looks pretty close.
Oh, it's really nice.
Yep, pretty well done. Really shrinks the scoring area. Team Epping only sitting 1 now.
Oh, it's such a beautiful shot. It's an end-saving shot. There's no real way at it as well.
Yeah, game saving. And now John has a pretty difficult corner freeze.
I'm not sure you can get to the inside of that. Like Kui didn't have much room by that guard. They were curl sweeping it at the end just to get the action they did. I'm not sure if there's a straight draw where you can count 2 on the intern side.
Yeah, I think he was about back 4, back 8 weight. So maybe if you throw perfect weight, it should curl enough to get second shot. But you're right, it is very difficult. I don't know if there's any other shot could peel, but I'm not sure that helps you.
I wonder if Epping is wishing he made the split on the Reds earlier this end, giving himself a little more options in terms of what can be sent backwards.
Yeah, I think that definitely is something to look back on if he's rewatching this. Yeah, certainly decision time. There really is no other way to the forefoot. I certainly like the peel if you can make it without leaving an easy double to sit 2 and not leave a double back.
Like sending this rock back or just peeling the guards?
Yeah, peel kind of the wick tick effect that we saw Jay Corrigan do. This does kind of go towards the rings if he makes it perfect. But the guards are your problem. You want to make sure you score. First? Yeah, I think just hit the outside one. If you hit the inside one, you'll wick tick, but it'll roll. It won't roll towards the center. Looks pretty close.
1-2. Just gets it a touch thick.
Yeah, too thick. But certainly opens up that center line. That red in the top 12 is now tappable. That red as a corner guard can be run back.
Yeah.
Certainly looks a lot better now.
Options have definitely increased. It's going to take... Kui's going to have to put this one in a really smart spot once again.
I think Kevin's going to have to play that corner freeze on his own yellow.
Could probably get to nose. It's going to leave a shot for 2 no matter what, unless you can somehow get shot rock out of it. Which
think
now
you
I
can.
guess there's a little more room.
Yep. I think you can with perfect weight. Like, you can't throw back 8 weight like he did before. But
If you're
certainly
okay
is
with
there.
giving up 2, you could easily draw to the open side of the rings. Just get an insurance rock in there. But problem is, I don't think you are okay with giving up 2 in this situation.
No, you give up 2 and you lose. Like, I think it's, yeah. I mean, Curling Zone would know. It's definitely high 80% of the time or something like that. But
I will check the table.
giving up 2 is pretty bad, I imagine.
86.2% of the time you'll win the game
Yeah.
up 2 without hammer. 2 ends to play.
Yep. That sounds about right. It is right, because that's what Curling Zone says. Anyways, I think they do have to play the freeze, the corner freeze. I think you can get shot with perfect weight. You just threw this path. Even if you're light, you're probably leaving a tap for 2, which isn't the easiest shot in the world. And if you can get shot rock here and leave the angle to where a run back's jammed, pretty awesome result for Team QE. So Matt Dunstone takes 4 and 6 to go up 7-3 over Brad Gushu.
Wow.
Brad Jacobs is up 5-3 with hammer over Rylan Kleider. And Brent Pierce up 4-3. Mike McEwen has hammer in the 7th.
That's been an incredible story, the Brent Pierce story.
Yep, they are certainly the Cinderella story in this event.
They've had some tough opponents as well, and they've managed each time. Playing last night to qualify for the playoffs, playing my dad's team that he coaches, Team Knapp out of Regina. And it took all the way into the 8th end. They got that one done as well. So a number of exciting victories for that team.
This rock needs to curl quite a bit. It's not going to. Pretty much perfect weight, but like you said, it was pretty difficult to get to the inside of that stone.
Well, you know what? The positive way of looking at this is there's going to be they're only going to give up 2. So,
well, yeah.
The way this end was looking was it could have been a game-ending score for Team Epping, but now it's just going to be a shot for 2, and not a super simple one either.
No, yeah, Kevin Cooey was
straightforward tap, but your line's got to be dang well perfect.
Before Aaron Sachinsky's really nice double and roll, they were looking at going to give up 3 or 4 and most likely lose the game. Now, Team Epping does still have a chance to get that 86% chance of winning stat. Just on the nose, tap it to full forefoot for 2 points. Last rock here in the 6th. Pretty difficult shot. The line needs to be perfect. Oh, and this rock took a right turn.
Really slowed down as well. Yeah, I'm wondering what happened there. The sweepers were definitely tricked.
Yeah, well, that is our last rock. Team Epping takes 1, goes up 3-2. Team Cooey will have hammer in the 7th when we come back.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like 1 more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Welcome back, everyone, to the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Here in Swift Current, Team Epping up 3-2 after 6 ends. Team Kui does have hammer in the 7th, and this is interesting situation that you see a lot of times in Tier 1, Tier 2, all levels of curling. Is up 1 without and 7. How do you play it?
Yeah, those are frustrating ones to kind of mentally get over. You know you had a huge end brewing, and you know you had a makeable shot for 2. Both of those things didn't turn out, the huge end and the shot for 2. So to reset mentally and kind of approach this next end, that's what divides the pros from the amateurs.
Yes. You know, when the 5-rock rule first came out, this 7th end was so interesting strategy-wise to see, because a lot of teams were going so hard to force in 7 that they would give up 4 or 5 and lose the game. You still see it this year. But it's interesting. Like, some teams would have thrown a double center guard if you're Team Epping and not played the freeze right away. Some teams are perfectly fine with giving up 2 in this situation, being down 1 with in 8.
Yeah, you think who's going to go for the points. You don't see a lot of teams playing for the blank right off the hop.
Yeah, you really can't.
Yeah.
Not with the 5-rock rule. Makes the hit, wants to stick around. If that red stays around, the force is more likely, or at least force to 2 is more likely. Blank is going to be off the cards pretty soon. Obviously, with their hitting ability, you can never call it too soon.
But it's the 6th shot of the end. They're not peeling. It's game on.
Yep.
A lot of made shots the first 4 or 5. In this game, there's been at least 1 miss by now. Everyone's been kind of making their shots so far, so it's a different looking end than we've seen.
Yes, it's kind of a nice setup. We haven't seen a rock crash on a guard until now.
Of course.
As we pointed it out. Pretty big miss by Team Kui there. As, like we said, the blank is basically not going to happen anymore. Team Epping playing pretty much a low risk, right on the nose run back to sit 1 buried in the top 4 foot. This is made by Tanner Horgan. And perfect.
Wow.
Does stick around, but still a great shot. There you go. Overswept it by a hair, but still sitting 1 top 4 foot. There is a hole, not an easy one. And a center guard. So far, definitely advantage Team Epping.
I'm seeing a lot of red rocks and not a lot of yellow ones, so it's it's Cooey's kind of. They're going to have to take the initiative and really make something happen here. Interesting that they're completely leaving the guards as they are.
Yeah, definitely could have made a run back or a double peel and opened up the front. But right now, looking like they're going to be forced. Need to make a pretty delicate shot through the hole and roll behind the current red corner guard.
Missed the sweep again.
Yeah, that curled late on them.
Yeah, and we've seen that all game, haven't we? Sweepers and line callers getting just kind of a little tricked. Like, there's just a little element of grabbiness in the ice this morning that hasn't really been there for the rest of the tournament. So the teams are definitely struggling to adjust to that, and it's unpredictable. You don't really know when exactly it is going to grab a little more. Challenging.
Yeah, very challenging. With that weight, it was always going to curl a decent amount at the end of the shot. So pretty predictable that it over curled. But now Tanner has basically the same run back, just off nose. I would love for this to roll to the center line, get rid of the corner guard, and be buried behind the center guard. Oh, Jake, sorry.
Splits him up. Doesn't leave a ton of options for Cooey on the wings, but it is an open house to draw to if they so wish. Yeah, Cooey's going to be tempted into bringing that biter into play. What a tough call, though, and it's going to be a pretty simple double back.
Yeah, no matter how you hit this, it's going to be a pretty simple double. You can roll in front, sit two, but anything just off nose for Jake Horgan will make the double and probably roll behind the current center guards. But I think I'd be tempted to draw. Save this hit for later.
This seems so hard, and it really, the reward doesn't seem that big.
No.
Seems. Again, I'm an amateur. These guys know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, this is going to overcurl and jam. And kind of like you said before, what we've been seeing from Team Cooey this game, just a little bit off.
And I thought you were calling the no blank a little early. This is if Epping rolls out here, they will have some type of chance to blank.
No, look at those center guards.
So it's going to be a hit and roll in. This is also pretty delicate. You cannot jam this. It's the only way to miss would be jamming.
Yeah, and there is a hole where, like, if you do jam and roll behind the corner, Team Cooey could still chase and sit two. So pretty important across the face. You're only trying to hit about a thick quarter of that yellow stone. For Jake Horgan. We saw Team Cooey's rock curl quite a bit, over curled. So first objective is to eliminate the yellow.
That's really moving. Will his soft weight save him? No, that's going to roll right out of the rings.
Certainly the right miss, the right tolerance was just that. Hit it too thin and roll out.
Yeah, better than jamming for sure.
Yeah, better than jamming. And like you said, now the blank could be possible. I agree with Kevin. If you hit and roll to the 12-foot, John probably is drawing to the top four. If you do nose, John will hit. He'll hit and roll. But any outward roll would be pretty tempting to draw if you're okay with giving up 2. And these teams have these conversations in the middle of summer, wondering what situation they like better, whether it's down 1 with or up 1 without. Most teams like down 1 with, but
I don't think that's true anymore since the analytics have come out.
the no
and
tick
shown
rule, right?
You have a slight edge when you're 1 point up. I know I want to be 1 point up.
Yeah, I always do too. But I just suck with hammer.
That was the like unquestionable before these analytics became popular. You ask almost any curler and they'd be like, "Oh, you want hammer in the last end?"
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Matchups, that is true.
Yeah, it depends on every team plays every team differently, and they have their own stats and their own strategy calls. But chance for John, make this hit and roll certainly makes the blank a lot harder.
Doesn't quite roll enough, It's a big reward, like especially you could roll really anywhere out of those guards, and it makes the blank a really tough throw.
Yeah, it does roll to a spot where it's tough for Kevin to roll under the guard. So if he does hit, he's going to roll outwards and give John the same hit and roll on his last.
Admittedly, I got confused about how many rocks are left. I thought that was Epping's last.
That's okay. I'm here.
Keeping track.
Not exactly sure what they're talking about. Maybe talking about drawing the top 4 foot. Even though the last 2 calls were basically saying you want to blank. We have seen Kevin flip-flop already a couple of times this game, strategy-wise, in the middle of an end. My gut is saying that you should hit. Give John the same hit and roll. Gives you a chance to blank. Even if you make the draw perfect, John is going to be pretty close on the run back or a hack waiter.
Yeah. I think if you hit and roll open, you've given yourself a pretty good chance at a blank. I mean, Epping will have that same roll under.
Yeah, I'm not taking a ton of ice here either. It has been pretty straight with hit weight out there. Maybe just peeling it out.
Well, you don't want to give Epping a free draw around the guards, do you?
That's what they're doing. You do. I guess maybe they're deciding that they're going to play the run back blank attempt is my guess. They did think about it for a bit there.
Maybe their fear was, Sam, if they roll open, maybe Epping goes pretty aggressive and makes a draw anyway. Might put it in a spot where they can't hit for 2, and that the run back would count their stone in the side of the 8 foot. You know what I mean? They thought they might get forced that way.
I do. They certainly thought about They talked about that shot for about 2 minutes, so they certainly thought about the scenario. And I don't mind what they ended up deciding. Kevin will be able to make some sort of run back blank attempt, and at worst give up one. And I guess they deciding that being down 2 width isn't the end of the world is my guess. Now, making Team Epping think as Jake comes back from a break. I mean, most teams you're just like, all right, let's put this top 4. But with Kevin Cooey's hitting ability, you know, if you put it top 4, it's a relatively makeable run back to blank. And blank, I don't think they want to give up a blank if you're Team Epping. So they're trying to put this back 8 foot buried behind the corner guard, it looks like. Very interesting.
Big shot from John Epping. To get a force here is going to really put him in the driver's seat. That's what they're going for. Sweepers on and off of this. They like it. Might have to get some late curl. Looks fairly buried.
Interesting. They did motion that they wanted to put it in the hole when they were talking about it anyways. As Kevin comes back from his break. Pretty interesting. Definitely makeable. That hole is a rock, just over a rock's width. And it is Kevin Cooey's out turn. His favorite shot. Pretty big shot here in the game. Last rock here in the 7th. Looking for the peel attempt, the blank attempt through the hole. The only other option is taking 1, so it's definitely worth the risk in my opinion. Being down 2 width is certainly a better situation than being tied without. As Kevin peels the hood off, gets ready to throw his last rock here in the 7th. Makes it look easy.
Hand goes up from Slushinsky. And they didn't play for a blank, but a blank is what they got.
Yeah, well done from Team Cooey, keeping hammer. Team Epping takes a 3-2 lead, headed to our 8th end when we come back.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Sasktel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? Sasktel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
We are back, 8th end here. Team Epping with a 1-point lead over Team QUI. QUI finds a way to blank the 7th to retain hammer into this 8th end of the quarterfinal here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown.
Yeah, he certainly knew better than we did playing that hit and roll on his first rock. Did get, I mean, I wouldn't call it lucky, but Epping's rock does end in the hole, and he makes a great blank attempt to keep hammer in this 8th end.
You know, Sam, I thought he was really scared of Epping, like making an aggressive call to try and force him. I don't know. I think Team QUI was thinking about the situation a lot harder than Team Epping was. I think Epping was pretty happy just chasing him around the rings. QUI got afraid that Epping might ignore his stone in the wings and draw underneath to attempt to force, but not sure that was ever in the cards. But I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting. Well, and as you said, the stats say being up one without is slightly better. So maybe Epping not worried because they were in a good spot either way.
Just to give credit and some context to those analytics, like those analytics are taken over the entire tour season. Like, you know, my team would be contributing to those on like my SAS tour events. And the reality is I'm going to go out there against QUI and have trouble scoring even 1 point. So the analytics are based on a very broad data set with lots of tour teams. Elite versus elite, those numbers change quite a bit.
Yeah, they do.
So as we say, you know, it's better to be one up without, and like the stats are slightly better. Just keeping in mind, elite teams versus elite teams, they have their own little metrics that they're using to make these decisions.
Yeah, I had the privilege of playing the U25 next gen spiel last year, and got to sit in a meeting talking about stats with Curling Canada, and yeah, the stats, it's actually quite different at the elite level, playing elite versus elite, like you just said, compared to our tier 2 or tier 3 level curling that we play. So very interesting. Unlucky for Tanner's first rock there. Wicks off, a definitely advantage Team QUI if you can make this tap and roll under.
Just to reference one of those decisions, Sam, we just saw the Grand Slam of curling, one of the most thrilling moments in recent competitive curling memory in St. John's, Newfoundland, where Team Jacobs chose to give Gushu 1 point in the 7th end to retain hammer in the 8th tied up. They could have very easily scored a single point, went 2 points up, and according to our analytics chart, that would have given them a much better chance of winning. But just knowing their opponent and knowing the strengths of their opponent and all that good stuff, Team Jacobs, after a lengthy discussion, decides to, intentionally give up a single point to Team Gushu. And anyone who was watching on TV or listened to the highlights, the crowd was not pleased with this decision, and the Boo Birds came flying, Sam.
I loved it. I loved every second of it. I think curling needs more fans like the St. John's fans booing and cheering on their favorite teams. It's just like in any sport. There are some dedicated fans, and Team Gushu has some dedicated fans. So it was fun to watch. And for Brad Jacobs, I liked the call. It wasn't an easy shot for one. They could have hit and rolled in for one, but keeping Hammer in the 8th against the hometown favorites and making a pretty simple hit and stick for one to win that game was certainly fun to watch.
Oh yeah, the Newfoundland curling fans are the best in the country. I can say that with confidence. I think curling's home used to be on the prairies here in Western Canada, but the East Coast has been putting out these last few years, and it's tough to beat that atmosphere that St. John's created.
Yeah, I mean, and it even kind of goes back to the Brier that Gushu won in St. John's. Just how loud that building got when they made the shot to win the Brier was just incredible. And I think you're right. I think Team Gushu definitely has the most hardcore fans. But those fans will be a little bit upset as they lose 7-3 to Matt Dunstone in the quarterfinal after 7 ends. And another finals, Brad Jacobs beats Ryland Kleider. So another Saskatchewan team eliminated. Brad Jacobs winning 9-3. Do you think Team Kleider has the betting favorite going into the Saskatchewan Tankard?
With no Team McEwen there, you got to think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There'll be a few top teams duking it out at the SAS Tankard. Hopefully I'm one of them.
Yes, hopefully you are.
Sneak into that very last spot.
That's what.
Yeah, it'll be Kleider. I would say Kaltoff, Laycock, Steve Laycock's team, always a threat.
Yeah.
With club manager of Swift Current, Chris Heichert on that team. Should be exciting. All provincial championships are very fun to watch.
Yeah.
There's something special about them.
Yeah, I got to commentate the Ontario Provincials the last 2 years. Hopefully I get to be playing in it this year. But we have our last chance qualifier coming up.
Just want to welcome all the fans from those quarterfinal matchups that you said we're just wrapping up. Looks like our views just took a big old bump as people were finishing up those games and joining us here. Welcome. My name is Rory McCusker. I'm with Sam Steep. Curling Stadium. We've had a back and forth battle. Team Epping, I would say, has had the edge. A couple ends that looked like they could have been really big ends for Team Epping, Sam, but some heroics by Aaron Slusinski in the 6th end and Kevin Cooey saves that end, and they end up forcing Team Epping to win after it looked like they were going to score a pile.
Yeah, I've been pretty nitpicky against Kevin Cooey's strategy pretty much all game. Called some interesting strategy calls, but the fact that they're down one with, they put themselves in a winning situation, and they're currently about to draw to sit 2. One top 4 foot here for Aaron Sluchinski.
As they have been all end, they've sat 2, Epping gets rid of 1. They sit 2 again, Epping gets rid of 1 of them. So this trade, if it continues on to the end of Skip Stones, is going to result in a Cooey win. So something's going to have to happen for Team Epping to reverse this trend. And you know what, Aaron is going to miss inside once again, Sam. We've seen him tick. That's, I think, the 3rd guard of this game that his draws have collided with.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of 2 things. I think his rocks are curling a little bit more than Tyler's and Kevin's. So Kevin is getting a little bit fooled on where to put the broom down for Aaron, considering that's, like you said, about the 3rd stone Aaron has wicked on the center line this game.
Geez, I think you got to make the double here, hey? It still leaves a pretty open ring. Cooey's got 3 stones left. He can easily hide them in pretty good spots, but I think you got to get rid of these 2 yellows, don't you?
Yeah, if you try to play the hack weight, hit and roll under, the yellow might still be shot once it jams in the back. A pretty delicate hack weight hit and roll too, so make the double, and you kind of force Team Cooey to have to make a perfect hit and roll. And as you said in the chat, Lindsay, Brent and Mark watching on the inside of the glass, that would mean to me that they play the winner of this game. No, they don't. Brad Jacobs plays Matt Dunstone, so maybe they play on this sheet after or something. But maybe they're just being entertained watching on the warm side of the glass.
I think that's a good theory, that they're checking out either the sheet or the teams. Always something to spy on at the curling rink when you're in a championship Sunday. In this case, it's championship Monday.
Yeah, trying to get this rock to curl to make the double isn't going to.
No. And you know what? Leaving your shooter all the way out there, kind of useless. Like that's not a great result. Jamming and rolling in would have been much better than rolling outwards like that.
Yeah, that was certainly a big opportunity for Jake to put some more pressure on Team Epping and eliminate 2 yellow stones. Now put some pressure on Team Cooey. Cooey can hit and sit too. They're just worried about leaving a double. If they nose, they leave a pretty natural quarter rock double.
I love how the guy throwing the stone is just standing in the hack, not participating in the discussion. That's kind of funny to me. Oh, he still wants to get rid of it.
Yeah, this is interesting. I guess it's
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I thought they were playing the hit. That would have been an interesting call, but they're playing the draw. They are switching, and they had to. They are switching paths, going to the other side of the sheet.
See, those little broom taps, it's kind of like a Skip's way of thinking out loud. They're just sort of testing things out. Maybe if I visualize with my broom here, okay, no, I don't want to do that. Little tricks the commentators, if nothing else.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a coach sometimes, especially for Mike McEwen. His broom just flies everywhere.
That really slowed down in a hurry, Sam. Like the sweepers thought that was heavy, and it ground to a halt almost perfectly in the top 4.
Yeah, it's a pretty great shot. Sitting 1-3 right now, and finished perfectly top 4 buried. Going to be really hard to chase. John either having to make a double run back or throw a very delicate backline tap.
I think that in-turn curls enough. You can get almost to nose. I'm not even positive you have to tap it all the way back. I think if you just give yourself a good one right on the center line, knowing that you'll likely tap it again on your next one. That's if you want to win the game right now. I mean, eliminating yellow stones, you could make the argument that, you could just play for the extra. Make sure that Cooey's going to have a shot for 1, but I know how much Kevin Cooey hates going into the extra end without hammer. I suspect he'll try anything to score 2. That's what we've seen in the past.
Yep, I think you're right. I love this double run call. Just off nose, out down the center line.
And we got John Epping, Mr. Runback, throwing it.
Well, and as a mixed double specialist, you throw this center run back a lot, though this is going to over curl. It's not even going to make the double.
He didn't really give it much. Weird little jam. Gets a Epping stone in the back of the 4-foot.
That a little bit lucky, I think, obviously. I don't think there's a shot.
Just that throw, I didn't save the replay, so it's too late to watch again. You can go back in the stream. He just threw it really with a slow handle. It didn't seem like a very good throw. It just kind of, the rock only rotated about 1 time, and just right out of his hand, you could see it start to dive. So not John's best throw.
No, and down the center line, anything soft is going to curl, even with peel weight, and that's exactly what that shot just did. For me, throwing peel down the center line when I have 2 awesome sweepers beside me, I tend to maybe miss a centimeter narrow because that they can hold it. It's better than trying to make a sweeper carve a peel weight rock because that's pretty hard. Us skips can cheat a little bit when we have good sweepers in front of us. Decision time for Kevin. What is the best outcome here?
Yeah, you really want to score 2. Hey, you want to avoid going to the extra. So, yeah. But in this case, I think the shot's the same. It's the out-turn freeze on that back red, isn't it?
The freeze would be a game-winning shot, though it is much harder than just throwing a double or a hit.
He you can't really see very much of that one. I mean, I guess with the right weight, you don't have to throw a million miles an hour. It's really just about rolling your shooter more than anything, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think you have to think about who the skip is. I mean, I've said it about 6 times this stream. Kevin Cooey loves his inside-out out turn. He won a Brier throwing a board weight double on his inside-out out turn against Brendan Botcher. So
absolutely, he did. I was
he
there.
loves this shot, and he makes it. You know, it's probably 98% of the time. Not to curse him on this one, but make this double. You're going to be sitting 2 buried on the center line, and John Epping will either have to make a freeze or a run back against the loss. And Kevin still gets to throw one more time.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for Team Cooey, especially if they can get this rock in a good spot, lie 2.
Yeah, big shot here, obviously. Looking for a little bit more ice. I guess he's not throwing a ton of weight, maybe just playing a hit and freeze.
Yeah, that looks like really soft weight. It's like almost heavy hack kind of thing.
Yeah, looking like that board waiter that they're just trying to hit about half of a rock and hit and roll to center, though this is taking off on them right now.
Gets one. It does get a pretty good roll. That's not bad at all.
Could be a game-winning shot.
I think they would have wanted it just a little bit more action so it might jam on that back red. The run double is still available.
Yeah, John looking at the angle run because it makes the yellow double better. If you play the center rock run double, it's pretty difficult. There's not much space in between those 2 yellows. You'd have to hit it perfect to eliminate both stones. That's why they're going to play the angle.
Yeah, but like, does the added difficulty of running a further stone at an angle make up for the better motion that the yellows are going to have? I don't know if it does.
I'm not 100% sure it does either, considering you just threw the run back down the center line.
Yeah.
But this is John Epping's wheelhouse. When he was the best team in the world, he was making these angle run backs all year. The last rock here for John Epping needs to at least hit one of the yellows out to force Kevin Cooey to throw his last. Off and on.
Gets one. Rips both yellows. It's a beautiful shot, John Epping.
How about that? That symbolizes John Epping's year so far this year. They've went from like 35th in the world to 11th, mostly because of confidence and shot making like that.
Just an excellent throw.
That's just who he is. That's what he does, is makes angle runbacks.
Yeah, I remember one year Grand Slam in Yorkton. This is quite a few years ago, maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Just could not be stopped. Angle run after angle run.
Yep. It's just a different level of confidence for shots like that. That's a 20-foot angle run back double. I mean, to see the stats on how often that's made.
So fairly straightforward bump for one on the out turn. It's going to send this thing to an extra end if Cooey can get to the nose.
Yep, definitely not over for Team Cooey. Make this nose hit for one, and with the no tick rules, can set up a steal opportunity in the extra. Last rock here in the 8th. Needs to stay full 4 foot. Sweepers haven't touched this yet. The broom goes down and makes the nose hit for the extra end. As we do have another final, Team Brent Pierce beats Mike McEwen 6-5. Another upset in the Cinderella story. This event continues for Brent Pierce.
Wow.
And they will play the winner of this game. Team Epping will have hammer in the extra end when we come back.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Welcome to the RBC Dominion Securities Western Canadian Showdown. We are very proud to sponsor this event for our community and surrounding area. We wish everyone good curling and best of luck.
Welcome back, everybody, to the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. I'm Sam Steve, joined with Rory McCusker here in this extra end thriller. Team Epping has Hammer tied 3-3 in this extra end. The winner of this game will play Brent Pearson in our comment section, saying that he made two great shots to win that game over Mike McEwen. Welcome if you're joining us from that stream.
Yeah, the Pierce team's been incredible to watch. Just excellent draw weight shooters, and I've seen a few of their games. They play a strategy that is just balls to the wall. They know they have to make their next shot in order for it to work, and I haven't seen them miss two in a row yet.
Incredible sweep from the Horgan brothers there to get that by. That Yellowstone obviously perfectly on the center line. They could not tick it.
Little bit of room for Carrick Martin to draw in behind.
Yeah, I think they're... My guess is a one center guard right now is what they're going to play, but a one guard zone, which is a super high center guard. Brent Pierce currently ranked 56th in the world. With the points he's about to get, he could jump all the way up to about 40th. That'd be a big jump.
Nice pair there from Carrick. And in order to steal, you need big shots from your front end, specifically your lead. And that's what they got here.
Yeah, Carrick, no mistake there. That's what leads live for, double center guards. Now that they don't get to do their tick very often. Chance for Ian to respond. He put a pretty good rock in the top 8 foot, a little higher than they would like it. Put this right top 4, 3/4 buried, and that's exactly what they do. Pretty good outcome for Ian McMillan. Both leads setting up their teams in this extra end.
You can ignore that timeout that just popped up on screen. There is no timeouts. There's no clocks, so no need for timeouts. Every shot can be a timeout if you want it. Our game clock's at 2 hours and 38 minutes, so both teams, specifically Cooey, taking big advantage.
The last 3 ends of this game has been quite slow. Both teams, obviously some complicated shots, but both teams definitely taking the use of no clocks to their advantage right now. Both teams not having their coaches here, so no need for using timeouts. I imagine in the rules they probably are allotted 2 timeouts, but No clocks and no coaches.
Fifth rock is down the ice. Nice little tap, sets up a pocket in the back of the button. But with this 6 stone, it is peeling time for John Epping.
Yep, perfectly executed by Tyler Tardy, putting that rock in the back 4 foot. That rock they're hoping to freeze to later on in the end. No chance for a double peel because the guards were so perfect. So Taylor just peel the top one off. Makes no mistake. So, Tyler throwing the 1 center guard, put it right back where it was before.
That's really nice replacement. You're trying to avoid the double peel for as long as you possibly can.
I mean, as a second Bison skip, to those 1 guards can be very difficult to throw. You don't throw them nearly as much as a lead does, and to kick out that slow in the hack and not hog the rock, it's just sometimes it's hard to believe, but it makes no mistake.
At least a few more guards from Cooey, you would think.
Yeah, a little bit of rinse repeat action here. Yep, we're going to see. My guess is 2 more center guards, but might only be 1 more. You can't give Jay Corrigan too many opportunities to open up that center.
Interested to see the motion on this rock. He's given this a little more rotation than his previous draws. There's been some over curls for Aaron's draws. This one also looks like it does not need help finishing.
I had to get that over the hog line. Good sweeping. And that rock curled a whole rock more than Tyler Tardy's did.
Mm-hmm.
With the
We've
same
seen that all game, eh?
Yeah.
So is this enough of an angle, Sam, where you might take on a double peel?
No, I guess with that broom switch, the answer is no. I wouldn't. I think it's a little bit too scary. You could triple stuff, and then Kevin Cooey's sitting 1 on the button, buried. Just peel the center guard, and you need Team Cooey to flinch first. They need to draw the top 4 foot first. No mistake from Jake. Now it's time to discuss if your team Kevin Cooey. You go now to the top button or make the freeze and leave Team Epping 3 chances or 2 chances at clearing the middle. Or do you throw 1 more center guard?
Well, if we just do the math, like eventually Team Cooey is going to have to draw in to the top of the button, right? And when you do that, you want something in the way of John Epping's response. So, I mean, by that math, you got to keep guarding, right? The risk is Epping beats you into the 4 foot, eventually ignores your guard, and just draws 1 in there himself. So that will be the decision, I think, for Cooey's first stone.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the high center guard, and he just made it.
You can pretty much guarantee that Epping will peel this one. So that's more than enough reason to throw it.
Yeah, as long as you don't set up an easy double peel. That is the only scary part, as this one is sliding a little deeper than they wanted.
Yeah, separation not quite as good. I think it's worth the risk, Sam. I think you got to take it on.
Yeah, I think so too. Just off of about 3/4 of the rock. Roll your
Go a
shooter to
long way.
about roll the shooter to about the 8-foot area of a corner guard would be perfect.
If we look at the house as well, the angles are quite nice. Even if you stuff this a little thick, that red in the top 12 should go into the yellow as long as you get it on the high side. Low side. Whatever side that it needs to hit to do that.
Side.
A side. One of the sides. Ooh, little speed wobble.
Yeah, a little bit of too much outward motion. It's going to miss the double peel. Starting to look a little bit like a skipper there.
All right, now it's decision time. Kevin's looking at loading up or maybe making this tap.
Yeah, he was just lining up the tap.
So I guess the reason you wouldn't straight draw on the outturn side is a slash double would be available?
Yeah, if you just straight draw, even if you're perfect, John Epping will be able to get rid of all 3 stones with the slash double. If you make this tap perfect, keep this yellow corner frozen on the red, it's going to be in a pretty good spot. John's going to need to make an upweight slash and then going to need to draw the button for the win. This is his next 2 shots, if I'm a good guessing man. So just off nose here, needs about back 8 would be perfect.
Line looks really close, Sam.
Yeah, this needs to curl. This looks pretty heavy.
It is. They'll get shot rock out of it. It's not a bad result, I don't think.
No, it curled up just in time. Decision time for John. You make the thin double, or do you make the angle? Or
Being his first one, the amount of good that comes from moving the center line stones, I would be tempted by this as well if I was John Epping. There's a way to really hurt yourself here. If you just barely miss and leave some junk up front and leave Kui shot rock.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if they're playing the nose, which it looks like they are with that broom placement.
I think you want to stick the red one in the top of the button, don't you?
Yep, I think so too. I think it's the right call. Right on the nose. Open up that 4 foot. Even if your shooter rolls to the 8 foot, that'd be pretty good outcome. He did miss a nose run back in the 8th end, so needs this to curl. It's close.
1, 2, disaster. That's exactly what they were hoping to avoid. It's just you can't defend against it. It's so close to making the shot that once you suspect that it's over curling, it's too late.
Yeah, that's tough. That needed to move another 2 centimeters to make it perfect, and now Team Kui has a great opportunity to try and block both shots. I think there's
a way to ice the game here, Sam. Like if you put it right where Carrick's broom is, outside of like that super thin double, how do you even get there? And I think there's a perfect spot where you take it all away.
That's what they're trying to find. They're trying to take the nose run back away and the thin double away, which would be
prioritize the run back, hey?
I think you do because he just threw it. The thin double is very difficult, and obviously take the draw away too. That is the only draw path to the button. It's more of a line shot than a weight shot. They're just discussing what shot A would be.
Really exciting stuff. Big fight back from Kui. The last half of this game, we have seen some interesting strategical decisions, like just kind of getting us thinking, Sam. Not saying that they're wrong, but just trying to figure out exactly what's in their mind and what their priorities are. And like really these situations where he wanted hammer in the even ends, he wanted to create forces in the fifth and the seventh. It didn't exactly turn out the way they wanted to, but they did have hammer in the eighth end. And now here in the extra, they've played a really smart end, gave themselves an opportunity to create that jam, that situation. Getting shot rock was a challenge enough. And now a shot to more or less win the game is available. There is a perfect spot that Kevin can put this. It's going to lock off the scoring area for John Epping.
Yeah, perfect spot being, top 8 foot, top 12, even a 3 guard, right in the gap in between the red and yellow stone that takes away the draw, takes away the in off, and probably only leaves the run back. It's very difficult to take all 3 shots away, but they're trying to do it.
Last shot of the extra end for Team QUARTERFINALS. This is definitely lighter than they were originally hoping for. Had to manage the line though, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, Team Epping had 3 shots. They had the double, the draw to the button, and the run back. It was very difficult to get rid of all 3. That guard gets rid of the double and the draw, and probably gives John the hardest shot, which is a just off nose run back. Needs to stay in the 4 foot for the win.
Needs to stick it for sure. Going to have to come pretty close to that yellow in the top of the rings.
Yeah, and as you saw in the 8th, John makes a great angle run back to force this extra end. Now needing to make a just off nose run back for the win. Last rock here in the extra.
Nice delicate weight to stick. We'll have to manage the curl now, though. Looks pretty close, and the weight just comes off it at the end. It over curls. Tragic. So close, but no cigar.
Yeah, big win for Team Kevin Cooey to stay alive in this playoffs. Congratulations to them. They will play Brent Pierce in our semifinal. I'm Sam Steep. This has been Rory on behalf of Rory McCusker. Thanks for joining us here at Curling Stadium. We'll be back on at 1:30 for our men's semifinal.
Handcrafted in Canada, Artline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.